Hey guys, how's it going? Jam here, and welcome to the second video of the mini-series that I've christened Jam Does Hoppers. Well, it was actually Tom that gave me the name, but yeah, I'll take credit for it, why not? I was actually pleasantly surprised to see a few suggestions of cars that I should use in the comment sections of the first video. Some were more serious than others, and while I did guarantee that I would use any car you suggested, and I will stick to that, I didn't guarantee which class I would be using them in. So no, I won't be using the BMW I-Setter in R class. I may use it in maybe C or D, but that R class just, I'm sorry, isn't going to happen. But no, I will get around to them eventually. But this Porsche 944 that's currently on screen was the very first suggestion that I got. So it's the next car that I'm going to use. It was already built up in my garage. I haven't even looked at the tune or anything. All I know is that it is in C class. So that's where we're going to be racing again today. Again, I will be driving in some other classes at some point, but not for this first episode. So without further ado, let's jump into the first race. Okay, so I've been sat here waiting for like about 15 minutes now, but we're finally loading into the first race of this video. Unfortunately, it is at the Bernese Alps, a layout on a track that I really don't like. The layout is pretty irrelevant. Yeah, I stated in the first video when we went to Rio that I wasn't a fan of any of the three fictional locations on this game. Alps is probably my least favourite of the three. Starting somewhere near the back, 14th out of 19, so it's about 3/4 of the way through. Pretty good start though, making up 2 positions straight away off the line. Turns out this Porsche launches rather well, obviously being very wary in turn 1. There's an Audi going for a bit of a twitch, trying to jump up the inside of this Mazda. There's a bit of a collision on the inside there, somebody's in the wall, trying to stick it round the outside of, I think that was a 190E. We've lost out to the Camaro that I think that's the same Camaro that we dragged past on the, off the line. Oh, it's this layout. I can't identify the Alps layouts by name because I just don't care, I don't like them. But even of the Alps layout, this is the worst one. I can't stand this one. I just hate it so much, but I will do my best. I always do. But we're, oh crikey, we're almost 5 wide going into this right-hander that leads us back up the hill, and we've got a Kamikaze 97 Civic. Absolutely flying into the corner there, taking no evasive action whatsoever to the cars in front of him. But fortunately, our nice cautious line seems to have paid off, out-dragging the Civic up the hill, and we're going up the inside of an Audi RS3 at the same time, getting a bit of a twitch on the curb. That was very close to making contact. Try and remember to shift up to 4th, I was right on the red line. That Civic's going up the inside of us again. I mean, that's hardly a surprise, it's a 97 Civic. All 3 of us, I think, there were touching the guardrail on the outside of that turn, and the Audi's now gone up our inside into the final corner. He's going to run it wide though, so we're going to brake nicely and make sure we get round the corner properly and take back what is now 7th position. So 7th to 14th on the opening lap, I will take that. That is for sure. It looks like the field is starting to spread out at the front now, so hopefully we won't have any more scary sort of 5 wide moments for the rest of this race. It's unlikely that I think I'm going to catch up or be able to keep on pace with that Civic in front of us because, as I said, it's a 97 Civic. So, yeah, I mean, it's just a quick car. And at a very handling track, where it's a very handling car, you're just not going to keep up with it. That's just how it is. But it looks like there's a little bit of a fight going on between 3 cars ahead of him. So hopefully those guys... Oh, there's actually 4 cars ahead of him, as I've really not taken a very good line through there. And ended up cutting the corner slightly on the left-hander. I apologise if I'm taking completely the wrong lines through these corners. I put no time into trying to know where I'm going at this track. The only time I ever go to it is when I'm forced to in lobbies, such as now. Looks like the Honda in front of us has managed to catch up to the group ahead of him already, and once again it looks like I'm cutting the corner there on the inside. But I'm just trying to... If I might just concentrate, you never know, I might catch something up. I think the car in front of us there just bounced off the barrier. So we might be able to close up on him. I think that's... it's one of them again. We had one in we had one in the first video. I don't know what it is. It's either a Subaru BRZ or a Toyota GT86. It's got to be one or the other. And I believe it was a Toyota last time. Hopefully we can get close enough to see what it is this time. I really hope that I have called that correctly, because I will look rather silly if I have mistaken it. Although it has managed to go around the outside of a 2003 Toyota Celica, who's now the car immediately ahead of us as we come round to start this first lap. And I've just noticed the feet meter from the guy behind us, who seems to have closed up rather a lot in that Mercedes 190E. I must admit that is definitely one of my faults, remembering to sort of check behind me. It's a lot easier in my usual sort of first person driving camera because you have the mirrors available to you, and obviously the feet meter is very helpful when you're driving in this third person camera, but yeah, it's not always something I'm particularly good at remembering to do, trying to just get a nice line round onto the uphill section. Running a little bit wide though, and there's been a collision ahead of us between the 97 Civic and somebody else, and the Mercedes that we were running alongside with collected the 97 Civic, so we are promoted up to 5th place with a nice comfortable gap behind us now. It looks like the guys involved in that incident on the last lap have all decided to call it a day as well, so we probably won't be seeing them in the next race either. But we got a pretty good run on the Celica coming into the last corner. If we can get a nice cutback line, we might be able to snatch 4th right at the death. We've got a good run. Come on, can we out-drag him to the line? I don't know where it is. I don't think we're going to do it. No, we haven't. That was quite a close finish though, and a thoroughly enjoyable race one. Let's have a quick look at the lap time, see how everybody did. I did a 1:33.0, so it didn't look like I was too far off the pace. All the cars ahead of me had pretty similar lap times. There's a 33.2, 2:32.9s, 35.1 from the Toyota, not doing too well, but a 31.7 from the fair lady behind me. And I'm not very good at this track in general, as I've said a few times, and I don't think this is the most suited car. It could have done with a bit more grip and maybe a little bit more, bit less sort of outright straight line speed, just so we can carry a bit more speed through the corners. But that is the end of the first race, and so I'll catch up with you again for the second one. The second race of this video could hardly be at a more different track from the first. As you can see, we're at the Watkins Glen full circuit alternate, which means there's no chicane down the main back straight. So yeah, we went to the first race at the Bernese Alps, which is very much reliant on your sort of handling and how quickly you can get around the corners, and Watkins Glen is largely straight line speed based, but we do get to start from 4th position and starting alongside the 97 Civic from the first race, so he didn't quit the lobby totally. Whap! That is not something you see every day. Out-dragged by a Land Rover off the start of the grid, although he's not taken a huge amount of speed through turn 1. There's a not BMW, sorry. Oh yeah, it's a BMW. I thought that was the... I saw a black saloon car and thought it was the 190E from the first race, but it looks like I was actually correct in misspeaking and saying BMW. So that's something. The 97 Civic has a good run on us as we're still tucked up behind the Land Rover. I think I actually gave him a bit of a tap there. I don't know if we're quicker than him in a straight line or not. It looks like at top end we do have a little bit of extra speed, so we're going to breeze past into 3rd place down the end of the straight, running wide and being tapped even wider by the 97 Civic round the big horseshoe-ish corner, and the Land Rover getting past us as well, but we managed to get past him before the left-hander that we're going into now, trying to keep it nice and tight so he doesn't get back past us on the exit. But it wasn't exactly the best line, and I'm just watching that feet meter drop, and he's trying to go around our outside for this corner break nice and late, and try and just cover the inside line, make sure he can't sneak it up the inside. Touch the curb slightly there though, not the best line, although I think covering the inside line gave him quite a bad run, so he has dropped back a little bit, but it does seem as though he's got far better acceleration than we have. We may have had him on the top end down the long straight earlier on in this lap, but it looks like he has got better launch out of the corners, probably, or it could be something to do with the fact, I'm guessing it's still 4-wheel drive. You never know with people in lobbies, he might have swapped it to rear-wheel drive, but I would guess it's still 4-wheel drive, especially considering how quickly he managed to launch off the line. But once again, we're sort of trying to settle in towards the end of lap 1 and try and not run wide, but yeah, that wasn't exactly an optimum racing line round there. I really don't like these last 2 corners at Watkins Glen. Watkins Glen for me is an interesting track. I always I tend to quite like it. If someone asks me, do you like Watkins Glen, I'll be like, yeah, it's alright, it's alright track. But when I really sort of think about it, I don't actually like any of the corners. I don't like this one because it's really hard to get right, and quite often you see people running wide intentionally in order to sort of abuse the track limits and carry more speed. This uphill section can be quite fun, sort of a stretched out chicane, but in slower cars like the Porsche that I'm currently in, it's kind of a little bit boring. It's like a slow Eau Rouge, it's just easy flat out. And in faster cars it's just annoying because it can be right on the edge of grip, and again it's not that great. But yeah, it's an alright track. I just don't really like any of the corners, I guess. But I have a feeling, judging by the current distances ahead of and behind me, that this could be quite a boring race from here on in. So what I'll do is I'll stop chatting about now, and I will cut out the next section of the video, so you haven't got to put up with me being bored and just concentrating and not talking. But I will jump back in case anything interesting happens. It would appear that once again I was correct in my estimation that nothing particularly interesting has happened since I was last speaking. So yeah, that's a whole section of the video that I'll just cut out so no one has to endure it. But I thought I'd join you again for the last few corners of the race. As you can see, the leaders have just crossed the line now. I don't think we've closed in on the car ahead of us at all. Maybe a very small amount, but I doubt it somehow. But I think we have also increased the gap behind us somewhat. You can just about see the Land Rover in the distance behind us there. So a fairly boring race once we sort of settled down at the end of lap 1, although there was some interesting little fight with the Land Rover, especially at the start of the race. Let's have a quick look, see what the lap times were. I did a 2:07.1. It was a nice clean lap. Yeah, the leaders ahead of me. 2:04s from the top two. I just don't have the pace in this Porsche. A little bit quicker than the Land Rover behind me, about on pace with the S2000. And yeah, sort of pretty much where I expected the Porsche 944 to be. So that's it. That's the end of this short little video. And thank you very much for watching. So until next time, goodbye.